All right, Sports Inquirer here with Coach Elliott. Another year with the Panthers, man. How was this offseason? How's this spring and summer? Just getting ready for 2022.
I think every coach says it's been a really good off season. I know our off seasons are always good. I think we've gotten everything we've accomplished we need to get accomplished in spring practice and our off season training. Summer conditioning's been good. We're ready to go for camp.
How do you feel to have a really more traditional spring and summer compared to what we've been going through the past few years?
You know, even during COVID, it wasn't all that different for us.
There's more isolation, though. Guys couldn't really go out and do their own thing.
I mean, they could. I mean, that was up to them. We didn't have them, isolated in the facility. They were living off campus. So nothing is really different from the last couple of years. We're just continuing to do what we do and get better. Even in COVID, God, I think our guys reported back in June, and they were there a much longer time than ever because the season started later.
Mm-hmm. Just being here in New Orleans, you see the conference now. You got some familiar faces from your FCS days.
That's right.
With
the Thundering Herd and James Madison.
Yeah, what's that like? And your name actually got shouted out from, I think, the James Madison coach. I guess you have a relationship. What's that like, seeing some of these, I guess, Virginia kind of base teams finding their way here?
Well, I mean, for those that don't know about these universities, these new college football programs coming in the Sun Belt, they're bringing quality football teams in, competitive, well-coached football teams. I mean, I've had so many battles with James Madison and so many battles with Marshall, Thundering Herd. That was our biggest rival back in college when I played. That was my first game I ever got my first sack in against the Thundering Herd in 1992. Just welcoming in all those new teams to a strong conference, now made stronger by the addition of those.
I know you really are becoming the best group of five conference in the nation. What's that been like for you, seeing that with these teams coming in that come in with championship pedigrees and bowl successes?
Yeah, it's great. It just shows you how strong our conference was and now becoming, because it says a lot to bring in the quality of teams that we're bringing in.
Yeah, let's go on the field. New offensive coordinator, Coach McKnight. How's that been transitioning a new coordinator into the Panther fold?
Yeah, and we're going to continue to do what we do. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of change in our offensive philosophy or how we approach things. So he's been with us for the past 5 years and going into his sixth season with us. So it should be comfortable.
Yeah, how important was that? Because that's an open position, a very coveted position, but you promoted kind of within. How was that an intention in a way to try to kind of keep things similar to what you've been doing?
Yeah, I think when we hired Brad Glenn, he and I had worked together previously a number of years, so we were very, very familiar with what we wanted to do. He knew exactly what I wanted to do, and same thing with going with Coach McKnight. I mean, he's been with me now for going into our sixth season, so it's very evident he knows exactly what I'm thinking.
Yeah, you got so many super seniors. Just talked with Malik Sumter. So what about him being your center, being the captain of that line?
Yeah.
How important is that to have him, just leading that unit?
I mean, it's unbelievable because the fact that, he's been here and he's been through every single thing. I mean, from the first time he walked on campus, seeing us open up the new stadium to winning our first bowl game, to now here we are. And having the ability to go to back-to-back bowl games, win them, have winning seasons, and do things that's never been done before.
Yeah. And Darren Grainger comes back for another season at quarterback. What have you seen from him this offseason and just that maturation now, reaching his upperclassman?
I think Darren becoming a more intelligent football player, learning the game, learning how to manage the play calls, whether we're in a bad play call or not. I just think his study and mindset leading into the season is going to be very, very evident that he knows our system and knows how to evolve the system, so to speak.
You got 2 preseason all-conference first-teamers on the squad in Antavius and with Blake. Just what about that unit overall? Just they came back for another season as your coordinator.
Yeah.
Just what about the defensive unit and just what expectations for them?
They set a lot of standards a year ago. Set a lot of school records in sacks, tackles for loss, and things of that nature. The continuity of our staff and Nate Fuquay on the defense, and then having so many returners, it gets you really, really excited and thrilled to know that, hey, we've got great production coming back.
Coaches always love to talk about special teams. I'll throw that bone to you.
Yeah.
What about the special teams unit, just your kickers and your snappers?
Yeah.
How about?
Well, Michael Hayes is going to return back to be our punter right there. We'll have an open competition for our kicking job. We'll see how it goes. We've hired a new special teams coordinator in Arkita Banks that will oversee all our special teams, and I think we're going to have a huge improvement in that area.
Yeah, and just looking at the conference in general, you mentioned that with Coastal, App State to be nationally ranked, you've got some wins over some Power 5 teams. So what about that top half? And you've been right there, so close to playing in that championship game. What do you think this year can be maybe different, or what do you think you have to do just to kind of get over that hump?
You got to continue doing the things that we've always done, and I don't think it's we missed out on the championship game because of lack of effort, a lack of focus, or anything like that. I think the ball's got to bounce your way. We were a couple games shy last year. We've got to overcome some adversity. Every team's got to do that in order to get to the top. But ultimately, we've got to play our brand and stay healthy.
Yeah, and I looked at the non-conference schedule, very interesting. Got South Carolina, got Army. What leads to those games? And I guess there's some home and homes and some back and forths, and North Carolina as well. Just what about that non-conference, playing some very competitive teams?
Yeah, I would say playing some very competitive teams. Army is a tough one, of course. Army, Charlotte. We got South Carolina to open up the season in Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia, and then you bring in North Carolina, the Tar Heels, to Center Park Stadium on the second week of the year. It's a tough non-conference, but when you're playing teams like the South Carolinas, the North Carolinas, the Armies, and those are nice teams to play. If you don't go play those teams, you can't beat those teams.